Hello and welcome. I'm sorry I can't attend, but let's stay on track until I get back. This is Technical Writing English 111. This course covers writing business and career search documents like resumes and letters and employment interviewing. I'll go through the course in greater detail when I show up in person in a few days. In the meantime, let's go over a few things to get the course underway and your first assignment, which is the career plan letter. It would be great or a good idea, at least right now, to pause this video and grab a copy of both the career plan letter assignment and the block letter format page 303 in your career for referencing. And those can both be found under Learning Units on the course website. So when you grab those, hit play and we'll get started. All right. As I said before, I will give you a brief overview of the course and some of its policies when I get back. But for now, you should work on trying to grab a copy of the textbook, which is Your Career by Harwood. It can be purchased in the IHCC bookstore. And as you can see here on this slide, the book is mostly blue with people on the front. Strange. The first assignment is to upload a first draft of something I call the career plan letter. Also, you need to be aware that this class is heavily dependent on word processing. This school is heavily dependent on Microsoft Word. So to help with all that, I placed a link for lynda.com, which is a school-subscribed website full of instructional videos under Learning Units, and lynda.com includes some instructional videos on Microsoft Word's 2013 version. And if you don't feel too sure of your Word skills, you can consult these lynda.com videos as you see fit. Hopefully they will get you started. Aside from composing this career plan letter using word processing, your assignment also includes uploading this letter to a Dropbox that's located online, once again under Learning Units. Don't panic, because there are instructions for doing the uploading to a Dropbox on the career plan letter assignment. The Dropbox itself is once again located under Learning Units, and it will close Tuesday at 4 p.m. So you've got a little time to work on this assignment. And please check back here Wednesday. I may be back in class, or if I'm not, check this website or the announcements on the course website on My Hills for perhaps another assignment. Life goes on, and I want to keep this course moving forward as well. Okay, here's where the career plan letter assignment sheet would really come in handy. As it mentions, content, in other words, writing interesting and relevant words and sentences is always your first priority in technical writing and in this course. Organizing those words and sentences into coherent paragraphs is your second priority, so organization, content organization. And then, so work on those, especially with this first draft. Make sure you've got good content and it's organized well. The research I speak of on this slide is to be placed in the second paragraph of your letter. And again, this only makes sense if you're looking at the assignment sheet. The Indian Hills website is your best source here. And so research is not a big deal with this assignment unless you don't do this small, minuscule amount of it correctly. So make sure you do that. The assignment sheet also mentions using the block letter format, page 303 from your career. This was page 303 from a previous version of your career. And so it's going to look a little ragged. It's a PDF version of that page. I also placed this online under Learning Units, as you probably already know. It looks like this on the slide. Ragged indeed, and yet very useful. And even my annotated notes are handy as well. My handwritten little little indicators on here. So, for instance, you want to set up your letter in Microsoft Word with 1-inch margins on the top, bottom, left, and right. And then open the Paragraph tab in Microsoft Word and set your line spacing to single or 1.0, and make sure that the space before and after paragraphs, which a lot of people miss, But as you open that paragraph tab, you'll see it'll have a space for spaces before and after paragraph. Make sure those are set to 0 as well. And get in the habit of doing this for everything we work on in here. Setting the margins to 1 inch, and then making sure that there's no spaces going to be added to before or after your paragraphs. Another thing to take note of here is the fact that there's indicators for how much space you should leave between elements on the letter. Where it says 1 and there's an arrow pointing down, that means 1 line of space. Other little things that catch up students in the past. Well, the blue box at the top says to start 2 inches from the top. So if you leave a 1 inch margin, you'll want to add an additional inch of space at the top before you begin typing your good stuff. Now that additional inch at the top we may use if the letter gets long enough. We might want to balance off the space we leave at the top and the bottom by eating into that additional inch, but for now leave it there. This letter probably won't take up too much space. And just like the format, the letter that you're going to write should have 3 paragraphs. So this makes this format guide sheet handy. What else can I say about it? Note at the top it's your address that goes, and then the date, and then my address, which has been provided on the assignment sheet for your convenience. Note as well that I place a colon after the last name and the salutation. Also note that I place a comma after sincerely at the bottom in the complimentary close. These are clearly labeled in my handwriting. For this particular letter, there would be no enclosure statement at the bottom, so don't worry about that. But do leave enough space between sincerely, comma, and your name to be able to sign this letter at some point. Oh yeah, you see all those asterisks, those little stars? You do understand that you're going to type in words, right, where those little asterisks are. Yes. Now, once again, make sure that you save a copy of this letter for reopening and adding on to later on. It'll be a lot of work for you if you have to retype the whole thing over again. Also, print out a copy of this letter for in-class work in class Wednesday, and hopefully I'll be with you to work with it in class. And remember that there is a deadline. It should be placed in the Dropbox by 4 p.m. Tuesday, and that is just part of doing technical writing. All professional writing comes with a deadline. So, that's not much for the first couple of days. So again, brief review here. Buy the textbook. That's what it looks like. Write me a career plan letter, first draft, and upload that fine letter to the Dropbox. And come back to this website Wednesday for further instructions. Grab the book, please, and I'll see you later.